Here in Philadelphia, we just experienced a record number of trash piled up, and residents have expressed frustration, both as the sanitation workers and at Chevelle Parker administration.
This morning, the fallout from the ongoing Philadelphia workers' strike is quite literally piling up.
Cheryl Parker, if you don't want your place to look like this, I suggest you come pay those workers so they can come clean this shit up.
There's the dumpster hiding. Like,
you need to pay those workers.
But why has this happened? I'm Devin, a lead student producer here at Poppin', and I'm here to talk about it. On October 17, 2024, this guy, Greg Boulware, the DC 33 president, sent out a call to action to the other sanitation workers in his union, stating that the city had failed to acknowledge their rights as union workers. Just a month later, the DC 33 Workers Union decided that if their rights weren't going to be met by the city, that they were going to go on strike. On November 22nd, 2024, a one-year contract was signed, preventing a strike at the time. However, workers knew that they needed a long-term solution. By June 2025, just 7 months after the original contract, the DC 33 Workers Union had enough. A strike was authorized by the DC 33 union leaders, marking the first workers' union strike since 1986. On July 1st, the DC 33 strike went into full effect, meaning there were no residential trash pickup services, no police officers to answer 911 calls, no crossing guards on duty at summer programs, slow water and sewer repairs, construction projects were paused, and all meter appointments were canceled. After a week of workers' strikes and protests, an agreement was reached and services resumed. Okay, so that happened. But what is a union? What is a strike? And why did DC 33's organizing literally turn our city upside down? Another student producer here at Poppin', Bryn, is the president of the Black Student Union at her school. Bryn sits down with Juliana Reyes, a former journalist for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and is going to tell us a little bit more about activism and unionizing.
Hi, Juliana. So we know that the definition of a labor union is an organization of workers in a trade, industry, or company that's created to represent the workers in negotiations with management over issues of pay, benefits, and working conditions. How do you connect with this, and why does it matter to you?
I wanted to write about labor at the Philadelphia Inquirer. That was the beat I had for a while. I wanted to cover labor and labor organizing because it's such an incredible force in the city and in the country. And so basically it's like one of the few forces we have to counterbalance capitalism. If it's me versus my boss, the boss is always gonna win because I'm just like one person. But if it's me and all my colleagues versus the boss, there's a much better chance of making a change, getting something done, fighting for what we believe in, fighting for better working conditions. We can say Philly is a union town because there are big, powerful unions, and also unions in some ways are still kind of like the small guy compared to like corporations that are in Philadelphia.
Even though unions are the small guy to large corporations, they're still seen as a threat. Large employers prioritize profit and productivity over worker safety, and they also receive loads of negative media coverage. Could you elaborate on that?
There's a lot of like anti-union propaganda and like media out there, precisely because of what I was saying earlier about the people in power don't want unions to be powerful. Don't want workers to be powerful. They get to say what they want to say about workers, and they get to control the narrative about workers. So I think that's why journalism, like good labor journalism, is so important.
I asked Juliana about the importance of unionization issues in schools and how it affects students.
Youth activism and youth solidarity with workers, especially education workers, can make a big difference. And so if young people are getting involved, like getting to know what the struggles are of their teachers, of the support staff, and also picketing with them or out there like making media about them and talking about how they support them and understand their struggle and how it's impacting them, I think that can make a huge difference.
Student solidarity is so important to workers, especially education workers. The point of unions is that their strength in numbers, so garnering support for these organizations can play a huge role in their reception. If you take anything away from this video, please remember that you have rights as young people, as workers, and as human beings. You can create and inspire social change by standing in solidarity with workers, unionizing when you can, and protesting injustice.
You're still doing that?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up. You want to end it with me?
I'm sure.
And that's what's poppin'.